you've seen him play great defense, but just describe what you saw to close out this game.
He said, he obviously did the challenge with one-on-one defense and stayed patient. Knew where he wanted to funnel those two guys and just made great plays on the ball. And then obviously with the block on Kent, having the kind of wherewithal to not only get the block, but then when it came down, get another deflection, and for us to get the possession. He showed out. It was unbelievable. Way to end the game and allowing him to seal it for us on the defensive end.
Draymond talked to Steph about the D and the idea that early on this season folks started counting you guys out on that end, and he said it pissed him off quite a bit. That motivation, that fire from him, have you heard him talk about this, and is that a team-wide thing where you guys have heard some of this noise and want to remind people that even with the new crew you can defend pretty well?
I'm sure he's motivated by that, but we could just see our numbers and just understand we weren't where we wanted to be, and had a lot to work on just the communication, the flow on the defensive end with the new personnel. And nobody was overreacting to the first month of the season, but it just gives you a kind of barometer where you're at, and knew we had a lot to work on. And for him, just individually, he knows that's part of our performance that he can impact the most with his versatility. So he's taken that challenge and ran with it and giving us an edge on that side of the floor.
What did they do on offense for the first 3 quarters? It looked like most of that you guys were kind of choppy. You weren't yourselves being able to do your things. Were they just guarding the line and cutting you guys off? And then the second part is, how big was Ian's shot at the end of the third quarter there at the buzzer there?
That shot was huge to pull within one, and then from there we got momentum. My college coach, Bob McKillop, always called it Big Mo, when you can end either a quarter and a half with a bucket, because it usually transfers over to that next period, and it did for us in the beginning of the fourth. We ended up with I think a 6-0 run to start the fourth. And, got the crowd into it and allowed our defense to have a little space to work with. So that was obviously a huge shot. And what was the first?
The offense looked like it was just kind of.
We turned that, and they do a good. We knew going into the game they do a good job of forcing their opponents into turnovers. But we just had some careless ones where loose dribbles out of bounds. Trying to thread a needle a little bit, just rushing, and so it just wasn't clicking early. I had to look at the film to figure out more what they were doing, collapsing the paint and getting deflections, or if it was just us just being a little bit careless.
Clay takes 18 shots, you take 17, KD takes 16. It's almost like you guys planned shoot around the same number. I know that's not the case, but what? And neither you or Clay have really lost that many shot attempts per game, even adding KD to the mix. Why do you think it's come together so seamlessly, and why are the shots so balanced, do you think?
Because nobody really dominates the ball. We move it every possession. When we're clicking, we move it really well, and everybody gets touches every possession to get involved. And kind of our MO is, if you move the ball, set screens for each other, move bodies, somebody's going to get a good look. And for us, we don't have to force feed anybody. It's just the flow happens, and whoever's that open guy at the end of a possession, you got a lot of confidence in that person knocking it down. So there will probably be games going forward where somebody get hot and you want to keep them going. It might be a little bit imbalanced, but for the most part, when we can use each other and have a flow to what we do, everybody should get some good looks.
One last.
Steph, you being the guy who's running the team, and then Kevin being the new guy, I just kind of wonder, going into the year, how deliberate were you on the floor as far as making sure he's comfortable? I mean, it looks easy. I'm sure it's not as easy as it might look to us, and just that process of letting him get comfortable, making sure he's getting his looks and getting to the place where he and you guys are right now?
There's a little awareness of that, but for the most part, when we got to the regular season, we egged each other on just telling each other to be aggressive or not. We don't need to sacrifice or play on our heels or do anything different than what me and him have done our whole career. So we're gonna, like we talked about, we're gonna each get shots. Clay involved too, and we need each other to be, who we are and to be aggressive. And if you're in your scoring position, you being unselfish is taking advantage of that opportunity and getting us a bucket, or vice versa. And we figured that part of it out. So it's not, come off the screen. If you're open, shoot it. Don't kind of, just worry about where everybody else is. If you have a, open look, take it, and we'll live with that. And we can all get shots up on the rim and see what happens.
Great, thank you. Appreciate it.